So before therapy, before going for therapy sessions, there's always a question of why therapy. Why should someone talk to a counselor, or why should someone talk to a therapist? What good can it do, and why should somebody talk about their feelings, their emotions, what's happening with them to somebody they do not know, or somebody they are not, they have not met before. So what can a therapy do, or what can a therapy session do? So it's very important we understand what it can do and what it does actually, because in therapy, right, we are talking about our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts, and we are mainly going there to deal with our current stressors, our current situation. However, it has to be understood that 70% of the situation that we are facing right now, it's because of what we faced in the past. It's not that something which is very immediate. Yes, the situation could be immediate, it could be the first time, or it could be at that point of time you're facing it, but situation could also, or can only be a trigger to what you're already feeling inside, right? It could be any situation in the relationship, whether it's in the family, whether it's in the office. No, the situations can only be a trigger to what you're already facing inside you, right? So therapy helps you to understand what it is that you're dealing with inside, what it is that you're dealing with that needs to come out, right? So it's very important that when we are talking about therapy, right, we are not just talking about therapy with regard to dealing with our current issues, current problems. Yes, importance is given there, but it also deals with the underlying issue. It also deals with the repressed feelings and emotions, which is to a very high extent is causing your current situation, or which is causing the current state of problem for you right now. So therapy helps you to talk about it. Therapy helps you to understand and bring out those feelings. It is not an easy process. It is not something that can be done within one session or two sessions, right? Because first we need to identify and be aware what is it that you're trying to repress, or what is it that we have repressed for a long period of time, right? And we need to understand it, identify it, then bring it out, right? So if you look at it, it's a whole process that needs to be done. But the more you work on it, the more you try to bring it out, the more you try to work on the situation, it becomes a little more easy. The process becomes a little more easy to work on. So hence therapy is very, very important. Like I said, first thing, it's not only for your current situation, right? It's also to understand what caused the current situation, right? And the second thing is that in therapy there is very high chance of, or not high chance, there is a it's a platform where there is less of judgment of the kind of person you are. There's a lack of judgment for what you're going through, right? There is a supportive environment, right? The therapist is there to support you, to encourage you, right? He or she is there to make sure that you are able to face your situation well, right? There is no judgment, there is no pointing of fingers over there to to tell you that you have done this, you shouldn't have done that, or you shouldn't have you did what you did is wrong. There is no pointing of fingers and making the person feel even more worse, right? There is a form of a support system. It's a form of support system. It's a platform where you are free to open up, where you have the freedom to open up about your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and be okay with it. The most important thing is to understand that it's okay to have these emotions, it's okay to have these feelings, right? You do not have to feel guilty about it, you do not have to feel negative about it, right? It's okay to have these feelings. So therapy gives you a platform to be okay with that feelings around you. And the third very important thing with regard to therapy is we need to understand that, like I said about with previous, the first point, that there could be an underlying issue, right, which can be related to your current situation, right? Our childhood experiences are also very much something we need to explore, right? Because what we are in our adulthood, right, definitely is influenced by what we were and how we were in our childhood, right? Whatever we were exposed to, whatever we had to deal with, whatever that was told to us, that whatever that was made to understand about our own selves, definitely does impact us in our adulthood, right? It does impact how we look at people around us. It does impact our goals, our our dreams. It does impact how we see people, how we create relationships, how we form really certain kind of relationships. All these are impacted by, that can definitely be impacted by our childhood too. So we need to identify those factors also, where childhood is one important factor that needs to be addressed, and that is usually addressed in the sessions to understand where what is coming from, where from where certain negative or maybe a default feeling or thoughts are coming from. Because childhood, like I said, does play a very important role, because what you understand about yourself is how you what you understand about what you did understand about yourself then is how you'll understand yourself right now as well. So it's very important that we do that we make sure that we talk about that as well, and to help the person understand that what exactly is happening. So that's a very important concept too. And also, though, helps therapy helps you to attain certain goals, helps you to understand the situation, the current situation, the past situation, and also with regard to your future. What can you do with regard to your future? What can be your goals, right? What is your potential, right? Where does your potential lie? What can you do about your potential, right? What can be done about doing something with regard to your talents, your capabilities, your aptitude, right? Therapy helps you to find that. Therapy helps you to open up about it. Therapy helps you to understand where you stand, okay, where you could be, all right, where you are and where you could be, and what can you do with your with regard to your potential. All these things can be dealt with, can be help to understand in therapy, right? So these are the few things that can help you in therapy, and the basic factor, or the basic core of therapy is to be in a place where you can be your own self, where you're not judged for you who you are, where you're not criticized for who you are. Like I said before, therapy is a platform, or rather should be a platform, where you can be your own self, where there is no restrictions, where there is no certain way that you have to be, right, especially with regard to your thought process, especially with regard to your emotions. It's a place where you can come, be open with your emotions, be open with your feelings, be talk about them, bring them out, and work can be done on them to see what can be done about your current feelings and thoughts. So it's a place where you can be yourself. It's a place where the counselor helps you to be yourself. And if you are a counselor, it's a place where you should help the client to be themselves. So it's very important, that needs to be done, that has to be done. So at the end of the day, it's a platform, it's a place where you can be your own self, and where you have the freedom to do that. So these are the few reasons why therapy helps. These are the few reasons why therapy is very much required, very much needed. And it's not I'll end this by just saying that there is a there is a concept, or saying that my problems are not big enough to go for therapy, my problems are not so big enough to go for therapy, right? That's not the case. Therapy does not have a standard to, or does not have a problem standard to call it for therapy, to call it for sessions. No, it does not have that. Anybody can go for therapy, anybody can approach a counselor for therapy, right? There is no minimum problem limit or anything like that. You can always you talk to a therapist or talk to a counselor if at all you're going through something, if at all you require a certain decision to be made, or whatever it is, right? Therapist does not help you to make does not make decision for you. Therapist helps you to make help you to make a decision for yourself, right? Basically, therapy is helping yourself to help you. No, I'm sorry. Basically, therapy is helping you to help yourself, right? That's the whole purpose of therapy. So there is, like I said, there is no minimum problem limit or standard for you to you need to have to go for therapy. Anybody can go, anybody can meet a counselor and therapist and talk about what's happening with them. So I hope that does help, and thank you for listening.